Hey guys, today we are doing a recap on
the Kimberley. So we go from Broome to Kununurra and Lake Argyle and all through the Kimberley. So let's go.
Hey guys, today we are heading towards Kununurra. We've just left Broome.
Do you reckon Beck? She's fighting off the floors. We're camping down there tonight. We just pulled off some road on the way in. There's like a main road. It's pretty corrugated.
We are just leaving the Boab Quarry and Nick's just putting up the tyres. So we just stopped at the Fitzroy River Lodge.
Join us on this episode as we go from Broome to Kununurra.
I'm Beck and this is Nick.
We share our passion for adventure through these videos, not only around Australia, but around the world.
Going to some of the most exquisite locations. Subscribe and seek life with us. We enjoyed our time in Broome over the new year, but it was time to move on to Kununurra. First, we had heard of a little gem in between by the name of RAAF Boab Quarry. 11.6 kilometres down a gravel road off the highway. We free camped there for the night.
Moving on to Kununurra the next day, about 720 kilometres or 7.5 hours. The weather was true Kimberley style, with heavy rain and sunshine taking turns throughout the day.
Hey guys, today we are heading towards Kununurra. We've just left Broome.
Yeah, we're driving about 4.5 hours to a place called RAAF Boab Quarry. It's like this old quarry that's like full of these big boab trees and you can like free camp there. So we're gonna free camp tonight.
Yes, so
First one of the trip,
I'm excited. Yeah, it is. There's all cows and stuff on the side of the road, so Nick's concentrating. But I'm so excited to see these trees.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You like drive in through all the boab trees and you can have a look around. I think it's either here or Spring Falls, Spring Creek or something, just up the road. There's like all these caves and stuff you can go for a walk around, so check that out too if you go there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're just on the road today.
And we're going to have a little adventure tonight when we get there. We're going to arrive around 5 o'clock. We left a little bit later today. The RAAF Boab Quarry is about a 4-hour drive from Broome. We stopped off at is it Willow?
Yeah, Willow.
Roadhouse, which is another awesome spot. Obviously, depending on how far you're driving, if you've got kids and that, there's a few different spots along the way that you can stop off at. There's heaps of facilities there. I had a little look online. When we were there, we could see like a pool. There's like powered sites, unpowered sites. There's even a gym.
Yeah, I would have stayed there.
Yeah. So obviously I was running every morning and we tried to do like a few different types of gym sessions when we're around because we like to be quite active, but having a gym at somewhere like that is
Pretty sick,
yeah,
in the middle of nowhere.
like literally the middle of nowhere. It's like, it was stinking hot, so you probably wouldn't use the gym because you walk outside and you're sweating, but it's pretty cool to have something like that there. They're also allowed pets, so obviously that's kind of a hard thing to find when you're travelling around, but they are a pet-friendly campsite. They have camper and caravan storage as well, which obviously if you're going to go on the Gibb River, you can leave your caravan or camper there if you're just going to go off in your car. So that's also a pretty cool feature.
Hey guys, we just got to the Willow Roadhouse. It's pretty cool. We watched Trip in a Van's episode. Just go check that out. And they film this sign, so it's pretty cool to be here. And it shows you all the distances We came from Port Hedland the other day. I'm 166 k's from Broome. We're going just near Fitzroy Crossing to a place called RAAF, Boab, Quarry. So there's a cool little roadhouse here. Heaps of merchandise and stuff inside. There's fuel here. It's cool with the red dirt. There's a pool and stuff out here. I think you can stay here. So anyway, I just stopped here for the toilet stop. We don't need fuel, we're all good. And then we're gonna keep heading down the road. Another probably hour and 45 and we'll be at the Boab camp. So it wasn't a big drive today, but it's pretty good so far. Nice, there's heaps of like Boab trees on the side of the road. It's pretty sick, you can see some there. Big one there. So it's pretty cool. You can stay at the Willow Roadhouse for $32 a night for a powered site. There's these massive Boab trees the way in. Pretty sad that people like write their names in them and stuff because it like damages the tree. They should just leave it alone. Anyway, we're on our way to RAAF Boab Quarry.
We just arrived at the turn off for the RAAF Boab Quarry campsite. So Nick's just letting down the tyres a little bit just because it's so corrugated. And then we're going to keep going. I think it's about 15-20 kilometers that way, and I think it says about half an hour drive, so yeah. And we're gonna go exploring. I can already see like some cool rocks where the caves and all that are down there.
We're just rolling into RAAF Boab Quarry. It's so cool, especially because now it's like wet season, I guess. It hasn't, touch wood, rained that much, but there's like actual green leaves on the trees as you come in,
which is pretty cool.
And the rock has like red coming out of the sides of it.
Everywhere that we saw these Boab trees in like the coast of Western Australia, they were all like not dead, but they didn't have any greenery on them, did they, Nick? No. Yeah.
What do you reckon, Beck? She's fighting off the flies. We're camping down there tonight. We just pulled off some road on the way in. There's like a main road. It's pretty corrugated. Probably should drop your pressures down. We dropped them a bit, but you could probably go a little bit more. It's pretty cool though. There's like all these rock features and like red coming through the rock. Josh is up there climbing. The next morning we got up with the sun after having a good night's sleep. Beck and I went for a little explore and a run around the actual quarry. So make sure you remember your landmarks if you go for a little run at RAAF Boab Quarry, like we or an explorer or whatever. So we didn't get lost, but we sort of went the wrong way.
Yeah, we had to guess our way back.
We sort of knew which way was what because of the sun. And knew where the road was, so we just kept going over, but it was fair way away from
and there's like no reception out there either. So.
No, but we figured it out. But just pay attention. Don't just run off into the bush. Know where you've been. Yeah. Just going for our morning run. We ran up this hill just to see what was up here. And it's so cool. So if you follow the road in, and then there's a track to the right, if you keep following that around, and then go up the hill, you can actually camp just over there and you see this. So cool. It was crazy to us how the landscape changed. It was also so awesome to see how these trees retained water. This is one of 3 places in the whole entire world that you can see a Boab tree. We packed up camp and rolled out. We highly recommend doing the 100 kilometres up to Winjani Gorge.
You can also access the Gibb River Road from this turnoff. It's about 110 kilometres, so 10 kilometres past Winjani Gorge. So when we're able to head back that way, we'll definitely go up the Gibb River Road. We were quite naive, or like early into camping, and didn't realise how capable actually our Hilux was. Or like the Gibb River Road was really bad, but if you drive at 100 kilometres an hour with your tyres pumped up, it's going to be horrendous. But if you just air down and go a bit slower, then it's as hard as you want to make it.
I guess, yeah,
it's as hard as you want to make it. So it's this big persona like, oh, Gibb River Road, but there's actually so many awesome spots up there, and people shouldn't be like discouraged to not go up there just because it is a hard track. Keep your wits about you, but if you get the right pressures, have the right gear, good tyres, and you're prepared, then there's no reason not to go up there. So we're really looking forward to go.
We are just leaving the Boab Quarry, and Nick's just putting up the tyres in the car so that we can start heading off. Looks like a storm is coming in, but we've had no service all night, so we just want to get out of here, and we're heading towards Fitzroy Crossing to go get some coffee and put some more fuel in. But look at this storm that looks like it's coming in. We're like surrounded by it, so we're just quickly putting some pressure in, and we're going to head off that way.
This is the Fitzroy River. It is 733 kilometres in length and currently bone dry.
So we just stopped at the Fitzroy River Lodge. We were going to stay here last night, but we decided to stay at the Boab Quarry place, which I think was a much better idea. We just put some fuel in. We didn't need much when we filled up our jerrys, and it was 66 litres for $116. So it's $1.75 a litre. But anyways, that's actually not too bad. We're just having a little walk around to get our legs moving. We've got about just under 7 hours until we'll be at Kununurra. We're going to stay at Kimberley Land Caravan Park. It's on the water, so it should be really nice. But this lodge is huge. There's like a really nice little like cafe and restaurant in here. We're just getting some coffee for our breakfast. So if you stay here, you can camp. I can see people camping down there, so there's definitely a lot of space around to be able to camp wherever you want, and there's all cars over there as well. I went for a bit more of an explore after the little clip we just watched without the camera, and the place is actually huge. They've got a tennis court, a swimming pool. Their staff live on site, isn't it? The lady made us coffee told they live on site. Yeah. So it is massive. They have safari lodges, like they put these big tents up that you can have like family safaris. They have caravan sites. They've got really good coffee. My coffee was good. Was yours?
Yes.
Yeah. The fuel was $1.75 per litre, which is probably the last cheapish place until you hit Queensland again.
It was very safe.
Yeah. So
that's why we put fuel in there.
Yeah. So we used our jerrys going from Broome to the Boab. We just filled up the car with the jerrys, and then when we got to Fitzroy Crossing, we filled up the jerrys. So it was like, I think we said, what was it, like $60 or something for the jerrys?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
wasn't too bad.
It wasn't that bad. We always had a backup when we were travelling, just because you don't know what's at the next stop, and we we're pretty lucky that we did do that, because there wasn't a lot that we could stop at between the Fitzroy Crossing and Kununurra, so just be careful with how much fuel you've got as well. Yeah,
we had about 190 litres combined with our Brown Davis long range, and then our two 20-litre diesel jerry cans. So, you know, we had range up to like 1600 k's.
Yeah, and especially in that area, because the service like goes in and out so much. Like we had our phone booster and a Telstra and a Vodafone SIM, but like you still like might not know where the next fuel station is if you are.
If it's even open.
Yeah, because they do close a lot earlier. Or there was a town that we rocked up to, and it said there was 4 fuel stations, and every single one of them had closed down due to like break-ins and stuff like that. So
yeah, just be careful.
Don't always expect that rock up and there's going to be fuel there readily available. We've just pulled into Mary Pool. It's about 1k like off the road to like there's a campsite and some bathrooms and stuff. But we just thought we'd have a little stop here. It's about 2 hours, Nick?
Yeah, it's about
2 to 3 hours by the time you get out of the like corrugated roads and stuff, and there's cows all on the side of the road. It's a really nice little like rest spot or lunch area as well. There's lots of like tables and chairs and stuff around. Heaps of cows.
Typical Kimberley fashion, it started pouring down rain. Story time. I was asleep and Beck woke me up as she saw the storm coming in. Luckily we switched because this rain got worse and worse. We had a truck coming towards us and luckily we had a UHF radio. I turned on all the lights and the hazards, got on the radio, and luckily because he said he couldn't see us. Film just never does it justice, but we're okay.
The footage that we just went through with the story time doesn't look that bad. Like the footage, as we said, just doesn't do it any justice. But like,
It was so bad.
in all honesty, I've probably never been in like such a bad position. Like the railing on the sides, you couldn't pull over. The 2 lanes are tiny. Why are you laughing?
It was pretty bad.
The truck couldn't see us even with all of our lights on. So it was really important that we did have the UHF radio. And it's really important to have a good one as well, just so that it can get that little bit further, especially through all like what type of road would you call it? Like a mountainy
Yeah.
landscape.
The short aerial will go better in the mountains. The long
Yeah.
will still do good, but it's more for like long roads.
Yeah. So like we couldn't even see the front of the car, let alone like the cars that were coming. So
Yeah, I just slowed right down and turned every single light on I had. And just
literally
radio up channel 30 just saying,
Yeah.
can you see me?
Because literally there was like concrete barricades on either side, like the whole way, just like for miles and miles. Like you couldn't stop anywhere or pull over or nothing. So it's really important to drive to the conditions and just be like safe and make sure you have a radio. You might think that you can get away with it, but it is probably safer to have one.
Kununurra, we made it. After a big day on the road, it was nice to get to camp.
Hey guys, today we are adventuring around Kununurra.
Yeah, Kununurra.
So we're at the start of the Ivanhoe cross. It says not to cross if the water is above, like there's a little mark on the pillar.
Join us on this episode as we tackle the Ivanhoe crossing.
I'm Beck and this is Nick.
We share our passion for adventure through these videos, not only around Australia but around the world.
going to some of the most exquisite locations. Subscribe and seek life with us.
Last week we left you after we rolled into Kununurra. This week we take on Ivanhoe Crossing and the Ord River.
It doesn't take Nick and Josh long. They are down the track seeking adventure. Hey guys, today we are adventuring around Kununurra.
Yeah, Kununurra. First stop is Ivanhoe Crossing. We didn't do the Give River Road, but we thought we'd like pick and choose bits off it, and you can get to Ivanhoe Crossing
From where we're staying.
It's that iconic photo you see of people driving across like that spillway in the Kimberley. So we're going to go do
about
that.
a 15-minute drive from
It's not far.
Kimberley. Yeah, so it's a 15-minute drive from where we're staying, and we're just on our way now. So we're at the start of the Ivanhoe Crossing. We're just about to go through. Over here. Got Nick and my brother and his girlfriend as well. So we just got to the Ivanhoe Crossing, and it says not to cross if the water is above, like there's a little mark on the pillar. I'll try and see if I can get up close to one and show you guys. And it's kind of like, it's not on it on the edge, but in the middle it's like just on it. So I think the boy's going to try and chuck up the drone and see what it's like. Lucky for us, we were clear to drive through it. We had heard that a few people hadn't been able to, like from stories and stuff, but we were really looking forward to it. It looks a lot scarier standing at like the front of all of the water, just like rushing down because it looks so fast. With the,
It just looks like a river.
Yeah, it, like it looks
With the
so
pathway
scary.
through it.
But when you start driving through, you see that it's actually fine. Once you've got to the other side and you get out, and then the next little bit looks like scary as well. But it's probably like it was ankle depth when we went there, so it wasn't even that bad. So just make sure that you don't stop in the middle. I've seen a few people do that, but it can be really bad, especially if the water's rushing. Like it's not slow. You can see that it's like really powerful and stuff.
Yeah.
And don't go too fast. We sped up the video that you just looked at, so we're not actually driving that fast because your tyres can.
You want to make a bow wave, so you'll feel it and see it when your car like starts pushing the water. That's like the momentum you want to be at.
Yeah.
You don't want to be like too
fast or stopping.
Yeah, it can like float your car away. There's a little mark. We say it in the video. There's a little mark on the
which it's quite high. It just looks a bit deceiving for the middle ones, but once you get there, you see there's like when we went, there was like a fair.
We survived the first water crossing. We were stoked.
So we just got through the first crossing, which is just over there, and now we've just got to get through this one. We're just seeing, it's just a bit rocky, I think, by the looks of it, but it doesn't look to be too deep. There's like a little hole that says the depth on it, and it looks alright from here.
Here we go, the second half.
we made it through the Ivanhoe crossing, one off the bucket list for us. It was now time to adventure up the Ord River.
We ventured just up past the crossing, then took a right down into the river flats. We were trying to find somewhere to have lunch. And who doesn't love a little explore along the way? We just had a quick dip in the Ord River. It's infested with crocodiles, so be very, very careful. Do not do this, what we did. We didn't even know, to be honest, which is bad. But do your research, learn from our mistake. So the upper Ord River is infested with crocodiles. It was over 40 degrees on this day, so that could be also a trap, like us. Yeah. We just got in, didn't even think about it. We did get in a really shallow running section.
We did think about it, just not as much as what we probably should have.
Yeah, so be a bit safer. We're also worried about, if you're also worried about getting your car scratched, just stick to the main tracks and they won't be too overgrown. If you're worried about getting your car scratched, it's probably not the tracks for you. We just bought that, I just bought that Hilux before we left, and like whatever, like you're in the Kimberley, just do it. Yeah. I reckon.
You can always get it fixed, if you needed.
Or not, and you had a good experience, and then you remember that scratch forever. Like when I look at him, I'm like, oh, that's from that. Yeah. Like it's cool.
Like at the time, you're like, oh, what's that noise? But
yeah, it's cool.
Hello, my name's Josh, and we're doing water crossings today. You know, you got to let guys down. It's better to be safe than sorry.
hot tip there from my brother. So just be careful, because we went at the start of the wet season and that was like double the deepness of what the Ivanhoe crossing depth actually was. So just bear in mind that the river is literally like right next to it, so it will like rise and fall after the wet season or during the wet season.
It was time to get some pinstripes on the old Luxie as we weaved our way through the bush down near the Ord River. The Ord River is a 320 kilometre, 200 mile long river in the Kimberley region, Western Australia. The river's catchment covers 46,100 square kilometres. This river houses the most estuarine crocs in the whole of Northern Australia. Really?
We going that way?
No.
Some waterfalls in Kununurra, and there's some cool four-wheel drive tracks to get to them. You can go an easy way if you don't have a full substantial four-wheel drive, and even the four-wheel drive tracks have easy and hard that you can get down into these falls. After the wet season it would be awesome, because there'd be heaps of water in it. It was pretty dry when we went there, but it was still good to go see and experience four-wheel drive tracks on the way in. We followed the track right to the end. It sort of came to a dead end. We turned around and pushed back through the water crossings to find a spot for lunch. If you couldn't tell earlier, I was frothing at all these water crossings and all this four-wheel driving we were doing.
So we just just found this little spot. It's just over a little crossing around the corner where the river's flowing, just over there. We just came over that hill. We just took a little dip because it's like 39 degrees, I think. And we're just gonna have some lunch. I think we're gonna have some enchiladas. And then we might go find a waterfall or some waterholes or something around. But yeah, it's so nice here.
We ate lunch and headed back over the Ivanhoe crossing. There were some locals fishing as we crossed. We pushed back to Kimberley land. Beck and I still had an itch for adventure. On our next episode, check in with us and we show you all the cool lookouts around Kununurra.
We've left the Ord River and the Ivanhoe crossing and we've just come like adventuring.
Join us on this episode as we show you around Kununurra. Everything from Kimberley Land, Elephant Rock and Kelly's Knob.
I'm Beck and this is Nick.
We share our passion for adventure through these videos, not only around Australia but around the world.
Going to some of the most exquisite locations. Subscribe and seek life with us. We've left the Ord River and the Ivanhoe crossing and we've just come like adventuring to see what we can find. We saw online that there was like an elephant rock and a Budda sleeping rock. They're just the same rock but look different from a different angle. So we thought we would come and find them. We found the other side but it was a bit far away so you couldn't really get like a good photo. But now we're at the bottom of this rock and it is huge. And we're a bit off track, but
We have no idea this isn't a road. This is just
a dirt path that we've found.
It's a cool one.
And we're at the very bottom of the rock, literally. I don't know about you guys, but this stuff absolutely fascinates Nick and I. Like, we just love how it's so defined and all of the different colours and how it got like that. But look how big this thing is. It's huge. So we just got to this national park. We saw it on like as we're driving by. There is a proper entrance, but we just came through like a little four-wheel-drive track. We just stopped there because there's a fallen tree. But have a look at all of these like rock creations. This is so like fascinating. I don't understand how this happens. The soft sand is very soft. There are so many things that you can do like around the Kununurra area. So if you don't want to stay at Lake Argyle, which is about a 50-minute drive from Kununurra, you can do day trips out there, which heaps of people were doing. We went and stayed at Lake Argyle after, which you'll see soon, and there was like buses and buses of day tours. So I assume that they come down from different spots as well, but a fair few come from Kununurra. You can do flights to the Bungle Bungles. There was horse riding on a few of the tracks that we went to when we were walking. There's river tours, there's hiking all around, there's waterfalls, especially if you go just after the wet season. they're about within an hour radius. I think you can get to a few of them,
not
and
too far.
there's a few breweries, or I think they're gin distilleries actually.
Yeah, some sort of distilleries.
Yeah, there's heaps of those around. There was signs everywhere, and they're about an hour like around as well. So when you're driving from the RAAF Boab to Kununurra, there are a few really good ones on the way apparently. So we just stopped at a little park next to where we're staying.
Yeah.
And we found, well, we didn't really find it, was on the Google Maps, the big Boab tree. These trees have definitely got to be my favourite tree now. What do you reckon?
Huge.
These are my favourite trees, but just take a look at how big it is. We're still walking just so we can get it all. It's huge.
That's the car.
Yeah. For a size reference, look how big that is. Let's just turn around. It's massive. They would have to be there for hundreds and hundreds of years.
So after a long day, we were hesitant to head out after relaxing by the pool, but instead of just sitting at camp, we decided to go hit some hot spots in Kununurra, and it was definitely worth it.
We're going to, is it Kelly's Knob Neck?
Yeah, Kelly's
Yeah. So it's only like, what, 3 kilometres from town, and then you park like halfway up the mountain, and then you walk like 600 metres, I think you said. But it looks to be a really nice sunset. There is a storm on the other side, but one side's clear. Let's go.
Let's go.
We're nearly at the top. We just like ran because we thought we were going to miss the sunset, but it doesn't really look like we will. But this is high, like we're both exhausted. It does say to leave like an hour for the return. It's only 1.2 kilometres, but wow, this is some nice views up here. There's a storm over there, that's why it's all grey and dark, but on both the other sides it's so nice.
How's the view as you look over the Boab, I can't say that, Conservation Park? The rock formations and the way the landscape is formed is just amazing. We feel that people overlook stuff like this on their trip around Australia. We think it's really important for you to get out and see the little things too, as well as the big sights.
I don't know about you guys, but we've been to a few lookouts and this is probably one of the best ones I've actually ever been to. It's 360 degrees. What do you reckon?
So cool. That's cool. I like to look it up better.
So that's the sunset over some mountains, but Nick likes over this side better of all of the...
Like that rugged...
Yeah, all of the
mountain range or
terrain.
whatever it is.
That was like what we showed you guys this morning already from the other side. But we are so high up. It was like, it said 600 metres, but it's like... It's about 600 metres, but it's very high incline. Our car is all the way down there, that tiny little thing, and we walked all the way up. There's a footpath, and it's actually really well made, isn't it, Nick?
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
It's
It's half an hour, but we did it in 9 minutes.
yeah, we actually ran up it to do a workout as well, but don't recommend running, do you?
No, it's very hot. It's 40 degrees.
It is 40 degrees, so if it was a bit cooler, it would be alright, but definitely recommend coming up here. We nearly didn't come because there's a storm over there, but we decided we'd come anyway, and it was definitely a good decision to come by.
So as we said, 1 hour loop. We did it in 13 minutes.
But we did run up and down.
We ran up and down. But you can do it. I was like 1 hour, no way. So it was good. Now we're going back to camp. We're going to have, can't turn the camera in, we're going to have ribeye and veggies for dinner. I'll show you guys much of Kimberley Land Caravan Park where we stayed in Kununurra. I'll put the prices on the screen for in season, because that's kind of when you want to go to the Kimberley. There's heaps of water around. We went in the dry season, it's still awesome. They have like lodges there.
We
There's
went in the wet season. The dry season is the peak season.
Sorry,
We couldn't stay on
what she said, see? What would I do with that though?
We couldn't stay on the waterfront because it was flooded from being wet season.
Yeah, in case it rained. There's a gummy crocodile down in the lake. There's some really nice lodges down by the water there. And as you can see in this footage that we're about to show, the sunrise, which Beck loves, is really good too.
Yeah, and they have like live performers and stuff throughout the peak season, and they've got like a full on, like a, what would you call it, like a...
Stage?
Yeah, stage, that's the word I was looking for. So they have that, and they have the best cafe at the front as well. So
yeah, good coffee.
Yeah, you find heaps of locals come down for like a juice or brekkie and stuff as well.
We get ready today to pack up camp and head to Lake Argyle. There's a resident gummy crocodile that lives in this lake. Tune back in next week as we take you from Kununurra to Lake Argyle for another awesome adventure.
Hey guys, today we are heading to Lake Argyle.
Yeah, from Kununurra it's about 50 minutes, so about 40 minutes to go.
Yeah.
So it's only just up the road, and apparently there's so much to do up there. We just looked at a review online, and there's travel families stayed there for like 7 weeks, so there's heaps to check out.
We're excited. We're not sure what we're going to do because the weather is raining and then sunny.
Bit on and off.
Yeah, so let's see what we're going to do.
Join us on this episode as we take you from Kununurra to Lake Argyle to see the freshwater crocodiles, jump off some rocks, and show you everything Lake Argyle has to offer.
I'm Beck, and this is Nick.
We share our passion for adventure through these videos, not only around Australia, but around the world.
Going to some of the most exquisite locations. Subscribe and seek life with us.
We left Kununurra after a couple of days and had our sights set on Lake Argyle. The journey was about 90 kilometres and about an hour and 3 minutes in the truck.
The Ord River Dam provides a major storage reservoir called Lake Argyle. Lake Argyle is now one of the world's largest man-made water bodies and was formed by an earth and rock-filled dam in the Carboyd Ranges.
So before leaving Kununurra, we went into town and grabbed some groceries and some supplies. We also fueled up. Yes, Lake Argyle is only an hour and a little bit away, but there's nothing really there apart from the lake. So there's no like grocery store or whatever. There's some snacks at the caravan park kitchen. Yeah, you can order a meal or whatever, but it's obviously cheaper and more cost effective to cook yourself.
Yeah, they've got like bread and milk and a few different bits and pieces.
Yeah, but they don't
all
have
that,
like,
but it's not like a full-on like grocery store.
or town for that matter.
Yeah.
It's just a caravan park and some sightseeing things, so make sure you stock up before you go in. Fuel is also expensive as you get more into the Northern Territory. I think the Barking Homestead, which is like probably in the next episode, we pay a bit. Oh, we didn't. Yeah, we paid.
No, we didn't.
Oh, we didn't pay. Yeah, it was like $2.99.
We didn't pay. We didn't fill up.
We stopped at the Bowser and looked at it, and I looked back and she looked at me. I was like, no way.
We didn't need it. We were still safe for the next few towns. We didn't
Yeah,
need to
it
get
was
until
alright.
Mount Isa, so that was alright. 34 kilometres from the turn-off from the Victoria Highway, and it's a sealed road the whole way, and the trees are really cool coming through them. And there's all mountains and stuff on the side. What do you reckon, Nick?
Pretty nice. It's nice to see with a bit of green.
Yeah, and it's the start of the wet season as well, about a month ago, so hopefully it gets a bit greener. We just arrived at the Lake Argyle resort. I'm just gonna go check in and then go head out. The sun's out, so we're hoping it stays quite nice. It's not too warm. It's been like 39, I reckon it's only about 30 here. Still very warm, but it doesn't feel it.
We just got to Lake Argyle Caravan Park. I think as Beck just said, we're just up there. There's the setup, we just unhitched. We're gonna follow Josh down to the boat ramp and we're gonna go out on the boat on the lake. So that'll be pretty cool. Some nice toilets here. We haven't really had a look around the park yet, but there's a nice infinity pool that looks over the lake and stuff, so I'll have a look at that a little bit later. We just got back to the camper and now we're going to follow them to the boat ramp.
It is $48, or it was $48 per night for a powered site for 2 people, and $37 for 2 people for an unpowered site.
Yeah.
So I think they do it per person, plus if it's a powered site, it's like an $11.50 fee or something per night. So it is a little bit pricey, but it is the only place you can stay at Lake Argyle, so I guess they have that flexibility of being able to charge
Whatever they want.
Yeah, exactly. And it is an amazing location, so you can stay there for a day, you can stay there for a couple of nights. We watched some people like for 7 weeks stay there because there's so much to do around there.
Yeah.
So
Bring a boat.
yeah, definitely bring a boat. It's the only place you can stay. It's an amazing location. It has really good like food and drink at the restaurant and stuff as well.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like a bar, there's a proper restaurant.
And the infinity pool is amazing.
You can drink in that by the pool as long as you're not silly. You use plastic cups. They provide all them too. Pick up all your rubbish because the owner's there and the lady that looks after it's really nice.
Yeah, she's a really lovely lady. We had a cold drink and something to eat in the afternoon because it was so hot. We didn't want to cook, and I think I had the best iced coffee I'd had literally on the whole trip. So it is pretty decent, though you do pay for what you get. So during the dry season, they keep it constantly flowing within 1 centimetre of the same thing, and then on the wet season, that's why it goes so high, because it overflows.
We dropped the boat in and wasted no time getting out on the lake. If you can see in the footage, on the side of the lake, there's a tide line. That's how high it goes in the wet season. As you can see, they haven't had much water for the past couple of wets. So we spoke to some locals as we put the boat in. Funnily enough, they actually worked at the caravan park and they do tours on the lake.
Yeah.
Later on when we went to get lunch, as we just said before in the last clip, one of them was working at the bar. We're a bit hesitant to jump in the water as 33,000 freshwater crocodiles in the lake.
Even though we went swimming in the salt water, like
in the
river.
river.
I know these are only freshies, but
yeah, only freshies. And we saw a small one, which is pretty cool, coming up in the clips.
Colors, I think that I match with all your colors. Surrounded, all up in your zone, I am surrounded. 'Cause I like the way when you're around in the morning, and I love the way that we fit out when it gets boring. You're
Jump rock. Josh was up first. Doesn't look like it's that high, but it is so high when you get up there. I didn't jump that high, but Josh braved it and jumped off the rocks.
Today, the family and I, we've visited Lake Argyle. Thanks Mum and Dad for taking me to Lake Argyle. It's awesome.
No worries, son.
It's good. We like Lake Argyle. We might come back one day. So yeah, it's a nice place. Let me get right in there. Very good.
It's actually a pretty funny story how we found these crocs. We were like, there is no way we're going to see a crocodile unless it was like on the edge or something. And I could see, we're sitting just having a little fish, and I could see these like 4 beady little eyes, like the tiniest, like the size of like a mini M&M. And I was like, I swear that is like the tiniest little crocodile. And everyone was like, no, it's not, no, it's not. So we went over to the side, and there was these like 2 baby crocs that are like this big. You do have to be careful though, because the mums are always around lurking, but not for why you would think. You'd think that they're like protecting them, but apparently because there's such a shortage on food, they come back to eat them after a couple of months.
If they're like not, yeah.
Yeah, that's what the locals told us. So they said if you see little ones or baby ones, just be careful because they could come back and be protective in case they think you're going to take their food.
Story time. At Jump Rock, we managed to break our GoPro Hero 5 session. Somehow we cracked the lens on the rocks. I jumped in just then with a cracked lens, little did I know. When I got up the rocks, I soon found out.
Once we finished up on the lake, we thought we would have a look around.
Hey guys, we thought we would show you some of the lookouts.
Yes, so we've just come up, this is probably like 200 metres from the caravan park.
Yeah,
it's like the water, I don't know, they call it the water lookout, I think it's
water tank lookout.
Yeah.
That's why we went in the boat. Look, that's where the boat ramp is. Put the boat in there, we went all the way around there. And that's Jump Rock over there. We just came up to Vista Point. It's literally like another 3 seconds from the caravan park. Just came up to Vista Point. It's a nice little lookout up here. Let's see what we can see. Lake Argyle is 1,000 square kilometres. It is the second largest body of fresh water in the whole of Australia.
As we drove over the wall, we realised why Lake Argyle is so important. The only way to transform the semi-desert cattle country to a luscious year-round agriculture area would be to develop a dam on the Ord River. This would capture much of the 2,500 gigalitres of water that flowed into the ocean each day during the wet season storms, enough water to supply Perth for 10 years. If you keep driving like to the bottom, there's the road up there. If you keep driving all the way to the bottom, there's like a Lake Argyle picnic area, and there's some really nice grass with like lots of shade, and it looks out to where they like the catchment where they release all the water and stuff. It's really nice here.
It's pretty cool. I reckon on all the reviews they said if you fish down there where the water comes in, you can have a chance at catching barramundi.
Yeah, so some really nice stuff around here. I would definitely recommend coming. Would you, Nick?
Yeah, definitely.
Would you stay another night?
Lake Argyle, there's heaps of structure as it's a man-made lake. So there's all those trees and things under the water that all the fish lay around, so you can really like work your lures around all the structure.
Or lose them.
Yeah, or lose them, or get entangled like we did. They do tours on the lake and boat hires, so you can hire a pontoon boat for the day. They have barbecues on and stuff. Hey?
Yeah, like you can go out for the full day or a half day or something. I think it is pretty pricey.
You can do sunset or sunrise cruises.
Cruises
also.
with
In
Caravan
season.
Park as well. Yeah, so I think anything like that is pretty good because if you do like a fishing tour, and I saw on their website they're doing, is it barramundi? Is that what?
Yeah, barramundi.
But they're starting to do like barramundi charters and stuff in the upcoming dry season. So that's pretty cool too.
I've waited all these years for you right here, but how will I ever know if you go? 'Cause I don't know you.
So this plaque says Prime Minister of Australia at the time, 1972, June 30, so just before the end of financial year. That's when they opened this dam, and it's got his name there. I won't read it, it's too long. And then all the people involved, I think. And then it's even got the company's name here. I don't know if you can see that. After a hot day exploring Lake Argyle, it was time to get in the famous infinity pool. Apart from some kids splashing around, the pool was so nice in the afternoon. We had a good sleep, a good feed, and packed up, ready to move on tomorrow.
Thanks for watching, guys. That's another video done.
If you enjoyed this one, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe.